It's another side that like wants to take more, wants to go that one more round, because like going that one more round when you don't think you can, that's what makes all the difference in your life. You know what I mean?
Good day and welcome to One More Round, the Rocky Series podcast. I'm your host, Ryan. I'm a little bit groggy. I do apologize. I am in a hotel right now. I'm in between shows of the Metallica concert here in Montreal. That's why the lighting's off. That's why my mic is different. And I'm a little bit punchy. Well, I think we're a little bit punchy this morning. Kyle's going to explain why he's a little bit punchy, but I'm a little bit punchy. I'm a little bit tired. Again, I was about to call the show the wrong name because I'm just like...
You did that last week too.
I literally did that. The episode just got released at the time of this recording, and I did it again because just yesterday I recorded a Rambo episode because I got some schedules coming up where I won't be recording necessarily every weekend or every second weekend. Anyways, so I apologize if I'm a little bit tired and slurry more than so in my mouth because of a lack of sleep, but good reasons why I have lack of sleep. Kyle is back on Earth. Kyle, explain your situation. What's going on with you?
My situation would best be described as a movie title from, would be 1992. Certain Macaulay Culkin film called Home Alone.
Oh.
Except no one's trying to break into my house and take my stuff, and I don't have to set up an elaborate set of traps. But like on Home Alone, the character Kevin overindulges in different things because there's no one supervising him, and I similarly did that with some adult beverages. I drank a stupid amount. I'm surprised I'm functional this morning. I woke up and I should be feeling way worse right now.
It'll come later then. That's
Yeah.
It'll come later. Oh, I'm sorry. I've been there many a time.
And Katie, I think you're the most fresh. You're the best lit of the three of us. What's going on?
I'm not hungover today or anything. Yeah.
Great. All right. Well, we don't have any emails to read. So if you have emails waiting for us or want to send us a message, please do send us a message. We appreciate those very much. I also want to say thank you to everyone who does comment on our YouTube channel. And thank you to those who comment on our Instagram and on our Facebook. Again, I do respond to those usually via those social platforms and not do that reading on the show. So if you want your emails or thoughts read via the show, send us an email. And if you want to join us live while we're recording, we have a few people right now. That's another great way to get your voice heard on the show. If it's on email, to watch us live, you can add to the chat, and people are doing that right now. Louise knows we're about to talk about the statue scene. So Ryan, he says here, Ryan's about to show all the women out there what a real podcaster looks like. Yeah. All right. And so we want to thank those who are watching us live. Regarding the Rocky Trivia, good news. The Rocky Trivia hardcover version is en route to my house. Funny, I did find the soft cover after I ordered the hardcover, but that's totally cool. I promised Rocco I'd buy the hardcover in honor of his hard work. And there are additional questions in the hardcover version. So we'll be reading those additional questions that we missed for the first two Rocky films, as well as catching up on our Rocky 3 trivia. And I think, Kyle, you still have the scorecard, do you not?
I have a Google Drive.
Yeah, you don't have to bring it up right now, but just so when we start part 3, we'll have that continuing the score and who will win the ultimate trivia prize. Since we have a little bit of extra time, like a couple minutes, I do have a question for you both. We can answer on air if you'd like. Regarding season 4, season 4 and season 5, what are your thoughts on which film do we cover? Meaning, part 4, do we cover Rocky 4, the original theater cut, Rocky 4, the Rocky versus Drago cut, the Stallone re-edited, or there's actually a fan-made version that I have in my possession that combines the two films? What are your initial thoughts on that?
My initial thought would be the original for Rocky 4, but I would also be open to the combo.
Kyle?
I think the original, because most of I would guess that a lot of the audience has seen the re-edited one, but people are generally more familiar with the original. And to me, if it comes out first, I put more weight onto it than if something comes out later. But I'm not against doing like maybe an additional episode or something like that.
So
Use some of the pages.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I tend to agree with both of you to a degree as well. Yeah. Part of me is like, we've covered it on Going the Distance to a certain degree, though Katie wasn't on that at all. How to do some of those episodes. There's that argument that I have in my head as a podcaster. I've already covered the original film. If people want to hear my thoughts on it, they can go back, but they don't have our thoughts on it per se. The other option is, if we did do this, I do have what's called the super fan edit cut or whatever it is. I haven't watched it yet, but my understanding is, as best as they did, is it's the original film with the added footage from the the director's cut of Sly. So you have the original film with the robot, because as you know, in the director's cut, there's no robot, for example. So we missed that whole discussion point about talking about the robot, as fun as that would be, other than us saying, oh, the robot's not here. And that would be the discussion, end of discussion. So maybe something to consider. Maybe our listeners, let us know, maybe in the comments or email, if you think maybe if we did the combo cut, because then we could talk about both. We'd talk about the original film, and then we could express our thoughts on the bonus scenes at the same time as they happen chronologically. So that might be the best of both worlds. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah. See what listeners are up for.
And then lastly, Rocky 5. This is a tricky one too, and I don't know how to do this one. Same idea. I have a copy of the workers print. It'd be a weird one to watch and react to, but I have the workers print, the one that everyone talks about. That's a better cut. That's the more original cut of the Rocky 5 film. It's a rough watch, but it's a better film. What do you guys think?
I've never seen that, so I don't know. I don't think my opinion it bears no weight.
The other
I personally enjoy. I personally enjoy hyping up Rocky 5 and showing how it's a better film than people think it is.
Okay.
So that's why I wanted to just stick with the original film. But
all right, that's fair. And the people in our comments right now are Alistair saying stick with the originals. Okay, this is just the nerd in me. I don't want to obviously not belabor the point or drag it out too much. Something that then we could do if we do the original for Rocky 5 is what I'll do, which I've never done before on the podcast, and I don't mind doing that quote unquote extra work, is I can, whatever scene we're covering that day, whatever the 10 minutes, I will go to the workers print, try to decipher what I can, what is new footage or different footage, and then have that spliced and show you guys like, okay, here's a different scene or additional scene. And then
that makes sense.
Again, the best of both worlds again, where we can comment on a piece of dialogue or scene that was a little bit different than the original. It might be a bit of work, but maybe I don't mind doing that because I'm kind of curious too. Okay. All right. Louise wants us to do Rocky 4 Paulie's cut, which is the party at Seiko the Robot and Stud's house.
That's amazing. That's a good one.
Yeah, I'll see if I get my hands on that one. Okay, guys, we don't have any emails. We have nothing else really to discuss, so we can get right into this. It's a big sequence, so we could probably get right to the end of it where they're talking in the house. So here we go. This is the statue sequence, which is a classic moment. Let's get to it. Here we go. So we just ended with a charity fight. There were $75,000 was raised to the youth fund. So that's good.
And this Pinocchio, he told a lie. You see, and his nose started growing real big.
Why didn't his ears grow?
I don't know. I didn't write the story there.
Are you fighting again?
Today? No, I don't plan on fighting today.
Promise?
Promise. Definitely, I promise.
Good, I like it here.
Yeah, well, I like being here. Now, you getting hungry? Huh? You want some breakfast? What do you want, Wheaties?
Yeah.
What are Wheaties, huh?
Champions.
What, breakfast or what? Champions.
Okay.
Oh my God, it's so cute.
Yeah, see, I was thinking too, people have often criticized Rocky's fathering, being a parent. How much of it is not necessarily him? Because we see all the bad parenting, so to speak, because of part 5, really, when it gets down to it. How much of that's chalked up to Rocky Jr. just being a bit of a dick in part 5? It looks like he loves his son. He's reads him stories. He's giving him hugs and attention. And yeah, his job does require him to be away from his family at times. Like I'm in the Navy, and throughout my Navy career, I've been away from my family. Does that make me a bad father because my job calls me away from home. His job calls him away from home. It's not even that he's gone that much to fight. He trains locally. He just has to fly to Germany, or that montage. He went to Germany to fight. He went to different areas of the world to fight, but it's not like he's gone 2 months at a time to fight one fight. So what are your thoughts on his
only in
parenting?
Rocky 4 when he goes to Russia, but outside of that,
Sure,
yeah.
but
No,
again, I
I'm with you.
yeah, because like I said, I say all the time, I'm gone for weeks, months at a time, and whatever. Am I a bad parent? Is he a bad parent? What's going on here?
I don't think the criticism of his parenting is that he is away a lot, or that even he's a jerk necessarily to his son. He's not like an abusive dad or something like that. Like I don't think anyone ever questions that Rocky loves his son, and he generally is at least cordial or nice to him. He looks like a great dad in this scene, of course. He's spending time with his son, and his son obviously is very fond of him, like they're close. What really makes Rocky seem like a bad dad is in Rocky 5, and I don't think it's the son being a dick so much. Like Rocky basically abandons his son to live vicariously through Tommy Gunn.
And
Like
the kid's always an afterthought. That's the running joke in these movies,
Right.
that he forgets he has a kid a lot of the times, or it seems.
Yeah, and then you see in Rocky Balboa, him and his son never really became close after Rocky 5. You hope by that end scene in Rocky 5 that they've reconciled, that they're at the top of the steps and things are going to be different now. But then there's other resentments and stuff too that I don't think are entirely Rocky's fault, to be honest. But he just doesn't have the best relationship with his adult son. Rocky as a dad to his child he's not a bad dad at all. It's like when you transition to having a relationship with your kid in their teenage years and adult years, that's a different kind of relationship. And that's where Rocky kind of goes off a little bit.
Fair point. And sorry, listeners, you're going to have to deal with my commenting on all of the fashion, because especially in 3 and 4, there's some good fashion. His
You want to
sweater
go
was
back?
his sweater was awesome.
Let me go back. Let's see here.
Isn't
Okay.
it? He just looks really nice.
That is a nice sweater.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
he wears a suit a lot in this one, and he fills out a suit very well.
Yeah, I can't pull that sweater off, but he does.
Yeah, very well.
Comment though, I agree with you, Kyle. You're right. That's what's portrayed in part 5 regarding that. And you're also right about at the end of the film, because that was supposed to be the last. That film was really written as the last film. I don't think ever intended to go past part 5. And so when he goes, "Oh, you're the daughter I always wanted," and they're like laughing and, "Oh, all these pictures in here. I had no idea there's art here," whatever. Like, we're led to believe it's a happy ending. Like him and father and son had reconciled. So when Rocky Balboa comes out, and okay, we'll speak to this, of course, their strained relationship showing up again is a bit of a really? We're back to this again? Because in part 5, we're led to believe it's a happy ending, that they've reconciled, that Tommy's out of the picture, the family's the most important thing. Rocky sees the errors of his ways. He keeps the cufflinking for his son. Everything's been resolved. And then go ahead 10, 12, 15 years. Now he's got issues with his son again. But that's what I mean. But the son issues in part 6 has to do with the death of the mother / also the son feeling like, through no fault of Rocky, that he's living in his father's shadow. So I don't think that still makes him a bad dad. It's the son causing the rift, and his dad actually didn't do anything bad. So that's why I make the argument. I don't know if Rocky is actually a bad parent, in all honesty.
I will counter a little bit because
Okay.
I do agree with you that the feeling like he's in his dad's shadow is not Sly's fault. There's nothing, not Rocky's fault. There's nothing Rocky can really do about that. He is who he is. His legacy is what it is. You can't
Right.
change that. What kind of got me a bit was that he seemed to have almost no contact with his son whatsoever after Rocky Balboa. He'd never met his grandson until his grandson.
Well, yeah, it
was-
does. Yeah,
was
you're right. It
older.
gets worse. You're right. If we're gonna keep going down the films, I feel like I feel like it keeps getting worse, and I don't know why that is. So you're right.
Like he doesn't give his son a call.
Yeah,
Like he does. Like just because he lives in Vancouver doesn't mean that you can't have a relationship with him. Yeah. So I don't think Rocky is a bad parent in the sense that he's like a piece of shit or something like that. There is way worse parents out there. He like honestly,
I might be a worse parent. I don't know.
some parents too. Just like sometimes you don't vibe with one parent versus the
Sure.
other. For example, I get along way better with my mom than my dad, My dad and I don't have a bad relationship, but I can't talk to my dad like the way I talk to my mom.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't just call my dad on the phone and chat with him. And maybe Rocky has a little bit of that with his son, which is also really not their fault. Like that's just how it is. But he's not going to get a parenting award, even if he's not necessarily a bad parent.
Okay. All right. So now we've got cut to the inside of the mansion. It's a daylight shot of the mansion, by the way. And I love how the limo's out front. He's got a limo ready to go at any point. Is that what that is? Is that limo ready to go at any? Oh, it's there to take them to the statue ceremony.
Yeah,
My bad.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Man, I see this mansion and it's like this perfectly manicured lawn and all that stuff. And all I can think about is like just the cost to upkeep that. Like you have to have a pretty full staff just to keep that place clean and maintained.
Yeah,
And it's like,
he's keeping several people employed. This is good.
yeah, it is, but it's just like that. My theory is that Rocky's financial decline is inevitable. Tax extension or no, I don't think that at the end of the day he's going back to the old neighborhood one way or the other.
That's funny. Yeah, you've made that point. I don't quite see it, but I get what you're saying.
Do you expect Rocky and Adrian to be out in the lawn pulling weeds themselves?
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But it's not everyone who is a pro athlete lives in a mansion like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Fair.
And the father bear, he said somebody's been sleeping in my bed. And the little kid bear said somebody's been sleeping in my bed. And there she is. Thereby he pulls back the covers and thereby exposing her to the public. See?
And what happened?
Eat your cereal before it sinks. what kind of cereal sinks? I guess Shreddies get soggy and
Yeah, they get soggy, and I don't know.
But it must be Shreddies then. Or no, he's eating Wheaties. I guess Wheaties. Yeah, that's right.
Additionally, this is where I was talking about. Polly now lives here as well.
Okay, no, let me counter. Today's episode of countering. Is he living there, or is he there to babysit the kids? So he's just waiting for them. So he resides there and he's babysitting, or do you think he arrived there to babysit? Is what I'm getting at.
There's a clue that he lives there.
Okay.
It's not definitive evidence, but it's a little bit of a lead.
Okay.
I've never seen Polly wear a wife beater in public.
That's what I said on a previous episode. That was my indicator.
Good point. That's a good point.
Okay.
Or he's just comfortable. He's just comfortable taking off.
Yeah, he looks like someone who got up and hasn't gotten dressed for the day yet.
Exactly.
That's what I see.
Mm-hmm. He lives there now.
I would also say, or he was there the night before in one of the guest rooms, tied one on, knowing he was going to have to get up early to babysit the kids. So it's like, yeah, yo, Rock, can I stay at your house overnight? Because I don't want to get here early in the morning. I'll just be here ready to go in the morning.
It's plausible, but the story is they made up. He moved Mick in. Can I have a job? And that also assumes that he gets to live there for free.
All right, let us know, folks. Let us know. Is Polly an actual resident at the house? Because he also says on part 5, it's a good thing I kept the place, eh, Rocky?
Yeah. Yeah, he very well could keep his place and rent it out. Polly's like doubling his income at this point. He lives for free, and then he's also making money by renting his house out.
True. All true. Good points, everyone. Love it.
Happened to Goldilocks.
Happened to her, I'm not exactly
Busted
sure.
for trespassing and got 30 days in the
Oh,
court.
it's real nice.
I love it so much.
Yeah, it's great.
Legit, though, that's so funny. That's how I view stuff like that. I'm such a cynic. Yeah, nice fairy tale. She would get arrested.
What happened? You know what happened to Goldilocks in the real? I did this on my other podcast, which I very rarely plug. I have a podcast called The Worst of the Best Podcast, and we actually did one on fairy tales.
Oh yeah.
And I believe, was it not the Goldilocks that she broke her neck escaping out the window? Like she ran out the window and she broke her neck.
I don't recall.
And it was either, I think it was Goldilocks. So it was there's 3 different endings to that. And the other one was she did get arrested.
That's the moral of the story. Yeah.
The bears. No, I'm serious. One of the original endings, the original story was that the bears called in the local sheriff and Goldilocks legit got arrested. So Polly's not wrong. One of the endings was that she got jailed for trespassing. That the bears were some sort of sentient beings that communicated with humans, and she got in trouble for trespassing. So Polly's actually not wrong, despite his humor there.
I'm a bit of a prison aficionado, just watching Scared Straight and stuff like that all the time. Although I have never, ever heard to anyone refer to jail as the cooler.
Right. It's an old-timey term.
Yeah.
I like it.
I do too.
Yeah, because
Something
you
new.
basically, you're in a cement slab. No, it's cold, dank. Yeah. So Adrian's walking here looking old.
Dolled up.
So what do you think of her dress? We'll have it come up a little bit because Paul's going to mention it. So I want to hear your thoughts after Katie. Just wait.
It's too nice to tell the kid. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. You guys better go.
You're a good boy now.
We'll have a fun time here, me and the kid.
All right.
Oh, Mr. Stein, you almost look pretty good.
That's
So
cute.
how does she look? What do you think of the dress, though?
It's not good, but it's typical 80s. It's better than some of aside from that white, is it Rocky 4? She wears like a white skirt suit. That's like a nice form-fitting outfit. But they always have Adrian in frumpy stuff. I don't think they want her to be very sexualized. It's on purpose. Like we're not.
As a guy, she's stunning. As we've said, she's a beautiful woman. And yeah, there's that part of me that would be very curious to see peak Talia Shire in a bikini or something. I'm curious just what she looks like she might have a nice figure, but
she does.
We never get to see it. We never get to see any kind of like form-fitting clothes on her ever. It's frustrating.
Don't you think it's because she's like this saintly figure that it's on purpose. They don't want to sexualize her. Like she looks very nice.
Is there any pictures of her out there on the interwebs? I wonder. I'm not sure.
I have a friend who knows of a site that
What?
you type it. I have a friend.
All right.
He knows of a site where you could type in a celebrity and they will tell you if they've ever done any nude scenes or
I don't see her nude per se.
Does she dress more sexily? I'm trying to picture what she wears.
I don't remember. I don't think
as
so.
Connie Corleone.
Even in the Godfather films, I don't
Yeah.
recall her wearing any kind of like cleavage dresses or every actress from. You can think of the actress. There's some sort of film or something where they're wearing, but Talia Shire, I feel like I just haven't seen her. Everything she wears, you can wear to a church. Like there's nothing ever like, I don't know, uncomfortable.
Yes, she does. That's a good point. She does look like she's ready to go to church or something.
Okay, so funny you say that because my thought was when I saw this is if you think of the news when like the Warren Jeffs like polygamy cult and those women are in like those crazy 1800s dresses.
Yeah.
I feel like that dress Adrian's wearing is okay. Take your 1800s polygamy cult dress and just try to modernize it a little bit. And then this is what you get.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It seems very like mid 80s. Like again, like women, she's in her mid 30s. And I don't know, people just seem to dress older. Or in Golden Girls, like all the dresses they wear, none of it is very sexy. It's just like all like this sort of.
Yeah, you'd think the one, who is it? There's one of the Golden Girls who's like really promiscuous. You think she
Blanche.
would wear, Blanche, she would wear sexier things.
It's more stylish and it is supposed to be a little but it's not ever like the Real Housewives of whatever. Now they're all dressing like they're 25 or something. But
do you know that I'm the same age as Blanche in season 1?
Oh, really? She was
weird.
like 10 or 12 years younger than the other ones.
She's 47 in season 1.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But you guys look at Rocky though. He's just like busting out of that shirt.
Yeah.
He looks so good in a suit.
He does look great. Yeah. He knocks it. He kills it. Okay. So Paulie pats the kid's head. Says, I'm going to take care of him. Pats his head like a dog. I'm going to take care of this thing while you guys are gone. And Mrs. Stallion, you almost look pretty good, which we know is Paulie's silly way of saying she looks nice. She looks good. He acknowledges that.
Don't give the kid any beer, all right? Okay, we gotta go on Paulie. Don't take him to the track, all right? How you doing, Mick?
So they did mention, of course, Adrian also mentioned the car is waiting outside, so that's the car. So the limo driver is going to take them to the statue ceremony.
Oh, man.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Uncle Paulie is like that uncle in the family where like you look forward to hanging out with them because you know you're going to do something you're not allowed to do otherwise. But you're also like a little bit afraid because you don't know what they're capable of at the same time.
Crazy Uncle Paulie. He probably does give the kid beer.
Oh, for sure.
It's a joke that Rocky says that ha 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 to the audience, but at the same time, yeah, in the realm of possibilities, can you please not feed our kid a beer, please? Like, yeah. It's legit. Yeah, I'm kind of joking, but I'm being clear. I don't want to smell alcohol in my kid's breath when I come home.
Or he's taking them to the track like that. Honestly, I would love that as a kid.
Sure.
That'd be so cool.
Again, the movie The Champ, you guys. You'll get to, yeah.
Okay. Now, I know this has been talked about. We talked about, of course, on Going the Distance, but we'll do it again because we have listeners of this show who haven't heard the other shows out there. But I know Rocky Minute covered as well. But we have to speak to it. It's silly if we don't. And I want to hear your guys' thoughts either way. We got two things happening here that are meta. On the drum kit, of course, we have Mr. T written on the drum set. Now, there's two things that have had. It's one of two things. It just so happens in the realm of possibility that the school band. These are instruments of a real school band. This probably is a real high school band or something like that playing. And it just so happens that Mr. T is Mr. Thompson, and this is his drum kit. You know what I mean? It just so happened that he labeled this as his drum. So when the filming is done, he gets his drums back. This could be Mr. T's drum kit. That's theory one. Something like this is a real person's name. It just so happens that you can see it in the film, because the only way I ever saw this was by doing this pausing that we do for the podcast. Two, it's actually an Easter egg that Mr. T is playing Clubber Lang in the film. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Which one do you think it is?
Definitely purposeful winks to the audience.
Okay.
I don't think it is, because it goes by too fast. We wouldn't notice this. Actually, I don't know, maybe you would, but I just think it's really weird. I'm not sure what my theory is going to be on this. I'm thinking either age, like what Ryan said, it's just kind of a coincidence, and they just put, okay, this is Mr. T's class, like Mr. Thompson's class, or else maybe Mr. T signed this guy's drum or something like that, and that's what happened to be used.
Oh, so you're even going above and beyond that.
Yeah.
That Mr. T himself wrote that. Wow, that's even more crazy. But see why I don't think that's that, because Mr. T at the time was not Mr. T.
True.
You know what I mean? Like, he wouldn't be important enough to say, I'm going to sign your kit, kid. Like, he was a new star. Like, he wasn't a celebrity as we know it today. Anyways, let us know what your thoughts are, folks. Another one. Yeah, I don't know what I put my money on. But then who wrote it? That's where I'm going down now. Then who wrote it? Who wrote that on the drum set? We know Sly's directing the film. Did Sly write it? Was that his little Easter egg? Was he clever enough to do that at the time? I find these parts now interesting, that if it was for the film, whose idea was it? Who wrote it, physically wrote that, and then Sly goes, all right, I got to make sure I get that into the shot. Now, the second thing of interest here is, of course, now we have the Rocky theme playing, going to fly now. Okay, we've talked about this before. It'd be like in Star Wars, walking into the cantina on a planet, and the alien band is playing the Star Wars theme. That's what we have here.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate that this song is here.
Yes.
It really bothers me.
Does it?
Yeah, because it's.
Well, do you
it's
get what
like-
I'm saying, Katie?
I do, but it's purposeful. This is in the 80s. You have to, like, we're no longer in the 70s. Like, the world of movies that we're in is very different, and it's cheese factor and wink, nod,
Very.
high. That we're supposed to love it, and I do.
Well, I'm commenting from my perspective now.
Yeah.
Right? And so I agree with you that it is kind of 80s cheese, but I just don't like 80s cheese that much.
Okay.
I don't know. But.
Again, this is a great episode. I love these discussions because I'm in between, meaning I never clued in. It didn't occur to me when I watched this as a kid in the 80s.
Yeah.
when it
Exactly.
came out,
Yeah.
I just like, oh, it's a Rocky theme. Do-do-do.
Yeah.
It didn't occur to me. Wait a minute, that doesn't make sense because the people in the film don't know they're in a Rocky film. This is
They don't?
Well, yeah, right.
What if this was just reality TV that they did starting in the 70s?
Yeah, and so when I became an adult, when I put away my child glasses, I admit now it's an irritant to a degree. But again, to speak to Katie's point, you have Sly, the director, and the writer of the film. This is his idea. He's making this meta, a bit of it's like a combination of a wink to the audience, a wink to those who are in the theater hearing the theme, because we're unveiling the statue of Rocky, which is made to look like Sly, which is really there in Philadelphia, which is really it's just like the two worlds have literally collided. We have reality happening with, because that statue is still there. This is it's really weird.
Sly has commented, like, in Philly, he's treated by people as Rocky, like, too.
Yeah.
Like, people, I'm not trying to on people from Philly. Like, I really like
we
Philly,
can do that.
but
There's a couple of people I wouldn't mind doing that too, but go ahead.
obviously everyone knows that Rocky's not actually real, but it's like they want Rocky to be real, and so like he has become his own. Like that character is made its way into the real world,
For sure.
especially in Philly. And yeah, it is weird. Like it has morphed into something way bigger than anyone ever thought. Because you don't get that too often, where like a city derives its identity, at least in part, from like a movie character. Like
Good-
Rock.
Good point. Is there another one? Is there anything bigger than Rocky Philadelphia? I don't know. Anybody?
That
I think-
has a fake character has a real tie to the community. There's
In such a significant way.
yeah,
for so-
that's when Tops
Yeah.
has to be the number one on Mount Rushmore of it. Yeah, for sure.
And it's the Lincoln High School where Rocky went to high school.
That's right. And let's just I love how teenagers from high school look like they're 45-year-old truckers.
For sure.
Yeah, that guy with the mustache there. They're like, you're not 17.
But they are. They are.
Yeah.
I bet you these people are high school students. I don't know what it was about the 70s, 80s, but kids in high school look like they already had 2 kids that got
Yeah.
fired from the job. Like,
It's true.
so weird. All right. So this is probably the school band. It's just easier to hire. It's just easier to hire the school band
Mhm.
because then you have everything ready to go. They all know how to play instruments. It's the school. It probably is the real kids from Lincoln High.
Oh, I just made a connection. His high school colors are his colors,
Oh,
yellow and black.
there you go.
Which is
Oh, and I have yellow on today, you guys.
Sure.
Yellow and black on. Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
a black shirt and I have yellow
Yeah.
light on my face.
it's a weird circle because like you could argue, oh, did Rocky get his inspiration for his colors from his high school? When in reality, we know that this wasn't thought of when they gave Rocky his colors in Rocky 2. And then they, of course, probably when they put the band together, maybe chose those colors or whatever, right?
But if it's
or it's just
really-
a coincidence.
If it's the actual, to Ryan's point, if they hired the actual band to play, that is probably the high school colors.
yeah,
So-
I think. I agree.
it is not-
You've
no, that's what-
persuaded
all
me
those
there.
Yeah. Oh no, those costumes or outfits they're wearing, that was pulled out of the locker. This was not made for the film. They literally just got the kids from the, like I said, it's just easier. Hey, Abraham Lincoln High, you guys want to be in the new Rocky film? Cool. We're gonna play the Rocky theme. Get your getup ready to go. Those kids all went to that school that year. This is them. This is not hired actors to put on costumes to be fitted for a costume. Everyone's just ready to go here. It's just easier.
I would buy that Sly thought of that his character went to Lincoln High School where he didn't graduate and their colors were yellow and black. And so then he's going to
You know,
have
you're
those
probably
colors.
right. It's easier to draw from real life. You're right.
This is my moment where I'm gonna just throw a Hail Mary to try and defend my theory, which is probably wrong. I could see Sly or the like whoever produced, like the producers of this movie, is a thank you to this band playing. It's we're gonna donate these new uniforms to the school.
It's
But then-
possible.
But then it's where it has to be these colors though.
That's plausible, but unlikely because the school's not going to change their colors.
Yeah,
They will.
They will if they're in a movie.
Maybe.
Okay, speaking of schools changing things, my sister's junior high school, they originally were called the Trojans, and they had their mascot looked almost like the Trojan condom symbol guy,
Yeah.
and they eventually had to change their name because it was just too much. So schools can't change.
Interesting. There are a lot of schools called the Trojans because it's
Are
like
they
as
really?
as like a warrior.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
know, but they just got made fun of so hard.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, of course.
Them quiet, tender moments.
Ooh, I do not like Adrian's coat. I forgot she has the fur coat. Bad.
It might
That's
be
a
fake
bad
fur.
look.
Is it faux fur? Is that what they call it? Fake
Faux.
fur.
Faux fur. I
Faux,
have a
faux,
feeling
faux.
in the 80s though, sadly, it was considered classy.
Maybe she got it secondhand. And so
No, he gave it to her for Christmas.
I'm just trying to make
Yeah.
something up. that you
But I don't
can-
like it. I don't like it.
So you didn't like Mickey's comment about whatever happened in a tender, quiet moment.
What's that now?
I just said what Mickey said there. So Mickey doesn't like all this racket. I tell Mickey, well, turn off your hearing aid music or your hearing aids. Turn them off. You'll be good to go. Yeah. Donald did mention here, he thinks that he said here the band playing the Rocky theme makes sense in reality. What else could they play? I
Yeah.
suppose the Deal Makers. I'm not sure what that is. He goes, I suppose people didn't care about the fourth wall back then. Yeah, we mentioned that. Again, good point, but I don't know what they could. There must have been some sort of non-themed music, some sort of triumphant type. I don't know what bands play, but there's got to be some sort of non-copyright type of
Fight song, like their
fight. So
school
yeah,
fight
like
song or whatever.
exactly. Get the football team hyped up type song. Yeah.
Yeah, there was as Mickey would say, a large variety of music out there.
Yeah.
The bands play for other occasions. You could find something, in my humble opinion.
Yeah. But then we wouldn't have anything to talk about in that moment. So that gave us that talking point. So thank you, Sly, for doing that because it's ridiculous and we get to talk about it. So Rocky he tells Mickey and Adrian to quiet down over there. This is a serious moment because they're giggling. Adrian laughed at Mickey's joke. She giggled and Rocky's like, shh, come on, you guys, be serious up here. This is a serious moment for me here.
Okay, I just saw something weird. It looked like there was a guy cheering in the background with a lacrosse stick.
Exactly. That's exactly what you saw. He was holding a lacrosse stick. I don't know why, but he's like, hey, I like sports.
Just came from practice.
Now, this guy was probably the real mayor of Philly. I wonder, was he the Philly or was this just an actor? Because sometimes they get the
Ooh,
real
good
people
question.
around.
This is where researching before the episode would come in handy, which none of us do.
No.
True. It's probably just an actor.
This guy looks like the early 80s personified, though.
Indeed.
Thank you, one and all. That's an old timey saying we never say anymore.
Yes.
One
I
and
like
all.
it. We should bring that back.
You know what? Next episode, remind me.
I will.
Welcome, one and all.
Yeah.
Thank you, one and all. Every once in a while, a person comes along who defies the odds, who defies logic, and fulfills an incredible dream.
Okay. Art and life and art. Are we talking about Rocky the character or Stallone creating the series? See, he wrote this. He defies all the odds, fulfills an incredible dream.
Okay.
Are we talking about boxing or are we talking about Stallone's acting career? You know what I mean by that? Because he wrote this. So he always reflects his life. He's writing to what he knows.
This is all of Rocky's like that, except for maybe Rocky IV. Rocky IV is an aberration, but most of Rocky is based off events that either happened in Sly's life or other boxers' life that have been repurposed and repackaged into a movie, which is a legitimate thing to do. That's not me being critical of him. Although Rocky V, I plan to learn how to edit videos. I want to make a compilation of him ripping off Customato
Do it, Kyle.
wholesale.
Do it.
That's to the point where I'm like, you're flirting with the line here. But yeah, it's obviously talking about both. I've always been bothered by that guy saying defies logic. I don't know what it is because I like saying that defies the odds because that shows the improbable rise, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the chances of him getting picked, the chances of him being able to successfully fight Apollo, that the odds of that happening were very low, so that's fair. But defies logic almost seems like on Rocky a little bit. That's like kind of the feeling I get from it.
It is an odd word choice, but I do also agree that the story, the original story of Rocky, is a metaphor for Sly's acting career, right? That's the whole,
Yeah, because apparently like this stage here is where Sly has now made it big, but then is growing soft and is getting used to being famous.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and this movie's based off that. I don't know. I wonder if Sly would this be like synonymous with him like receiving like an Oscar or something like that?
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
That's it. You're right. Everything you guys are saying is right. Yeah. So this is definitely autobiographical, of course. Okay.
On behalf of all the citizens of Philadelphia and the many who have been touched by your accomplishments and your untiring participation in the city's many charity functions, it is with tremendous honor that we present.
I love the mention of the charity. Yeah, like the giant I fought. That was a good one. I love how that event was specifically for the Philadelphia Youth Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I want to point out here that the good city of Philadelphia is not in the best place in many different ways, and not the least of which sports-wise. Like Philadelphia sports, for example, in the 70s, the Philadelphia Flyers.
Yeah, they were the fighting Flyers. What are they called?
The Broad Street Bullies.
Yeah, that's right.
They had a pretty good team, but otherwise, having some someone representing Philadelphia who's so popular and so likable is a big boost to the city, which is also like Rocky was a big boost to the city of Philadelphia in that way, which kind of because Philadelphia was once a super important big city, and it's been dwarfed by its bigger neighbors and has become a lot less prominent. And Rocky really helped put Philly back on the map in a lot of ways. And
sure.
So the city of Philadelphia really appreciates Sly, and in the film here, they really appreciate Rocky for kind of revitalizing the city a little bit.
Very good point.
This memorial, which will stand always as a celebration to the indomitable spirit of man. Philadelphia salutes its favorite son, Rocky Balboa.
Now, the statue to this day, as we know, is at the bottom of the stairs. We know the whole history of it very quickly. It stayed there after the filming. The library didn't like it, said this is not art. This is a movie prop. That was their argument. Got moved outside the Spectrum. They got moved back to the bottom of the stairs for the Rocky Balboa in 2006. It was a re-ceremony, and much like what's happening now, Stallone was there, dedicating the statues again at the bottom of the stairs. And yes, all joking aside, fans throughout the world, myself included one day, Kyle's done it. Katie, I don't think you've done it yet. Have gone to the statue, and they have felt that indomitable spirit of man. Like, we know the Rocky character. This is for the naysayers. We know the Rocky character is not a real person, but like anything, any story or song, or think about songs, poems, stories, movies, they can inspire you to be a better person, or they can give you some sort of lift. And the character and the qualities of the character have defined those odds. And people draw strength from that storytelling. And it's okay to do that. And I don't know why it has to be a real person, so to speak, that does that for someone. Yeah, like a song can lift your soul. That's a good thing. The statue and the story of Rocky, if it lifts someone's spirit, that's a good thing. It's a positive thing. I guess I'm just a little bit not defensive, but you always hear those naysayers. It's a fictitious character. Well, no, we understand it's not a real person, but the feelings of inspiration that it can elicit, those are real, and so the statue represents those, what the franchise does for people.
Yeah, I actually agree with the statue not being on top of the steps, which it might be a bit of a hot take. In
the bottom's
Rocky,
fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
And also at the top of the steps, they do have the imprint of his feet.
Yeah, they kept that.
You do have something that's more subtle at the top of the steps. It's just a good compromise. The statue's still in a good location. Maybe the art people are a little pretentious too. Like, oh, this isn't real art. You're like the gatekeepers of that. But the film itself is a form of art.
It is real art, actually. That's a real.
Yeah.
There's a sculptor it's a sculpture.
Real life sculptor. Yeah, no, I know.
P.S. You guys, can you guys see mine? Can you see it back there?
You've shown it before, but you grab if you want. I can't.
Yeah.
My screen's small right now.
That's okay. But anyway, that's where I have it in my.
Yeah, we love it. Yes. Yeah. And yes, Alistair, you're absolutely correct. We'll show a couple comments here. Stallone said he got arrogant after winning the Oscar and started to believe his own hype. Rocky 3 reflects that complacency. So that's what I love about the Rocky films. The Sly's right, and he's always been honest about his own ups and downs. I love that about that. And then Louise says, any Rocky fan on our level really ought to see it in person. Yeah, we will one day, Louise.
Agreed.
It was so awesome to finally see the statue and walk the steps. Yeah, Louise, it's going to happen. My goal is actually summer 24, 25. Okay. All right. Let's continue. Okay, so what was that? Okay, I've only got a kick. What again? Did the people, the crowd hear that? And then what created it? Or what was the thing that made that sound? That kind of the thunder rumble, shotgun cannon firing type sound. It's not really loud, but it's not really quiet. So thoughts, guys? Again, Did the crowd hear it, or just the moviegoers heard this sort of? I don't know.
I always liked that sound for some reason.
Okay,
Like, it
but
made-
again, but
yeah.
in the realm of reality at this event, what created it? Who did it? What is it?
I want to say the crowd heard it, even though you could probably have a pretty good argument that they didn't.
My question is more so, did Rocky not know? He looks
Yes.
really shocked by this.
Yes.
Did
No,
he not?
he's never seen the statue before.
I know,
I know,
like,
but-
he knew a statue was going to be there. Like, it's
Yeah.
almost like he thought there was going to be something else, and then they like did a switcheroo at the end where it's now a statue.
I never took that. He may have gotten word that there's a statue because if you want to get meta in this weird sense, like we know Stallone in real life posed for the statue.
Mhm.
That was
Yeah.
a real thing. He actually posed for the artist. It was like a couple days of posing.
In Colorado.
That's right. And so we know that happened. So I would suspect if you want to take the elements that it takes to make the statue, that the Rocky character would have to pose, but he never saw it till now. So I'm just going with that. It is a thing of beauty. It's quite shocking to see the thing that you did pose for there in front of you, 20 feet tall or whatever, that there it is, the statue. So I don't know. That's how I took it. That
No,
he never-
you're right. But like realistically, wouldn't they be like, hey, we're honoring you with a statue at this ceremony?
His level of shock is disproportionate.
Mhm.
Okay, it's proportionate. It's all sound. They know it's a statue unveiling. That's why they're there. They know it's being. He's just in awe of the beauty of it. That
Okay.
yeah, it's better than he had hoped. Maybe
Can you guys imagine? Just a statue of yourself.
no, it'd be weird.
I wouldn't have agreed to it. I would never agree to a statue of myself somewhere. That'd be weird.
Mhm. That's part of his shocked look, a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna say 4 years, but it depends on how you look at the timeline. But I'm gonna say 4 years prior to this, he was just some schmuck that no one cared about or liked.
Mhm.
And like he was living in a rough neighborhood in Philly. He was just making his way. Even in Rocky 2, he was getting disrespected a lot. And now he's at a point, all like in a short period of time, where he's referred to as Philadelphia's favorite son. And there's a huge public ceremony for him where a statue is unveiled. That is a massive transition in a very short amount of time. And I have a hard time believing that he'd be like comfortable with the statue of him being there.
Like he almost looks mad.
No, he's just shocked. I get it. I know we don't overanalyze per se, but
Yeah,
he's legit.
yeah. Okay.
I'm just saying he's just like, oh, whoa. He's just like, because the next
Like,
reaction is
holy
beautiful.
cow. Yeah.
Yeah, like he really just can't believe it. And he's a simple guy, and so this is
True.
amazing even to him that this thing is even happening. He's really taken aback. I just take it that he's very thrilled by it. He doesn't know what to say. He's really taken aback.
Beautiful.
Definitely a thing of beauty.
I always love this guy here.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Santa Claus.
For our audio listeners, of course, it's the guy with the silver hair. He's got shades under his glasses. You see that? He's got glasses atop of the shades. You see that?
That's like an actual thing. I remember my grandma having those, like way back in the day before they made prescription sunglasses and stuff. Like you'd have to put those.
Yeah, but he seems so out of like it's like a real character looking guy.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
He stands out. It's like him then Mr. T. Like those two guys are like two individuals. This guy right now, this guy here.
He's probably only 50 there though, sadly.
Yeah, he's 35. So of course the crowd's cheering Rocky. So this thing of Rocky, did that kind of happen in part 1? Happen a little bit more part 2, but it's this scene 2 really starts to solidify the Rocky chant, and that becomes the big thing in Rocky 4, of course, when the Russian crowd chants Rocky's name, right?
Mhm.
And this is pretty good. We've seen athletes, I know you have, Katie, we've seen athletes who retire or honored. I've seen it when I watch some hockey games to get like a video montage of them, whatever it is. I've seen men galore, and I say men, athletes, choking up, truly choking up and crying about their accomplishments or the love that they're feeling from people. So Rocky being choked up and emotional is totally legit for him to feel this way.
I saw that happen just yesterday, actually.
Oh,
the Toronto Blue Jays are playing the Chicago Cubs, and they were it was in Toronto, and they were unveiling in Toronto at their Rogers Center. They have like all the names of the greats that have played for the Blue Jays over the years, like Joe Carter. Man, I'm blanking on a lot of them. There's Roy Halladay, like a bunch of the greats, and Jose Bautista got his name up there. And so he gave a little speech prior to the game, and that's exactly what happened. He got choked up. Like, it was a big moment for him.
There you go.
It was cool to see that. Like, it's nice to see people show emotion and like love for the game and for the fans and stuff.
Indeed.
Thank you very much. I don't know what do you say to something like this? About 3 years ago, the city really took me inside, you know?
Okay. We have a timeline. 3 years ago, the city really took. Now, what year is it right now? And what event did the city, quote, take him in? Is it when he won the championship?
Yes. Because,
okay. What year is that?
Okay, so he won the champion. He won the championship technically in 1976, November. It's hard to argue anything different because they're really explicit about the timeline. And
so this is 79 now?
Yes, this is supposed to be 1979, but it's really 1982.
No, no. Well,
Here we go.
So I know I had the big beef with this, like in a previous episode. It is in the 80s, very clearly. We're in the 80s. It is current day. It is 1982 in this movie.
Yes, It is 1982 in this movie, and it's in text. It's in text. Like, to me, text on the screen is the most reliable indicator. So Mickey's grave makes it such that you cannot get around that it's 1982.
Oh, I see. You're saying that there was a physical prop of some sort that showed a date.
And like I was saying before, so they're just going that the previous movie was 3 years ago. So that's how they're making it work. But the fact that the movie that was 3 years ago was actually set 3 years prior to that is the problem. But we just have to go with it.
Right. So 3 years ago, Mickey dies in August 15th, 1981. So we know this film was probably filmed in 81, right?
Yeah.
Shown in 82 after production, editing, all that stuff. So released in 82, just like part 2 is released in set. But that's the thing, is we know part 2 was released in 79, filmed in 78.
That's what they're using, though. Like,
I know, but that's what's frustrating.
You can't. This is the problem. When you take breaks in filming, it becomes progressively more difficult to pretend like you're in a prior time period.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what they do is they just put the current date on. They're actually pretty consistent that way.
Yeah.
In every single, I have it written down in my basement, but there is actual text in all of the films that shows what the dates are. Okay. And they're pretty good about using the right dates in terms of basically when they're filming. But then it does not comport to like the timeline in context. When you're talking about, they'll say such and such happened 3 years ago, or Rocky is now 34, and we know he was 30 in the original. There's no way of getting around that. You have to make a decision. We're either going to pretend like it's 1979, or we're going to just film in the modern era and just have that timeline discrepancy.
But every time it comes up, every time this stuff comes up, we have to talk about it. Wherever that is in the timeline, whatever piece. So here he is saying 3. Had Sly seen this future of episodes and podcasting and breakdowns, he could have just worded it some years ago.
But they've said this movie they've said 3 years. Like, this is the third time they've said it. But Kyle's right. They do, because they're aware that this is a problem. And so they've made the decision to just now be in the 80s and pretend that's
just move forward.
Yeah.
Keep moving forward. That's how these movies are done. This timeline will beat you to your knees if you let it.
Yeah, for sure.
One thing I'll give them props on, though, is that there is an exception in Rocky 4. Again, is the aberration here, where they do that pretty bad, but otherwise, like, they're pretty good about, okay, yes, the timeline has shifted, but then they use the correct number of years to the previous film.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in that way, they actually do keep it pretty consistent.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you very much for that. I really do. And I've been thinking that I wasn't going to bring this up, but I might as well now. I would never do anything to hurt this sport that has been so really good to me. And
Hurt the sport fighting a wrestler? I'm just joking.
And I've been talking over with my wife, my manager. We think that it's really hard to just feel like a bum.
I feel like a bum. I don't know if I ever caught that before. Have you?
I have never either, and I'm
No.
wondering if that's really what he says. If
Okay,
the
well, let's go
subtitle
back.
is right.
Let's go back. Let's see if the captions are correct. The captions for our listeners say, "I feel like a bum." So let's
That's
just
a
go back.
weird. That'd be weird.
Okay, let's try it again. So listen carefully.
Bring this up, but I might as well now. I would never do anything to hurt this sport that has been so really good to me. And I've been talking over with my wife, my manager. We think that it's really hard to just feel like a bum.
Yeah, he did say it. He just did not enunciate very clearly. Like I thought it was just
If he
like
doesn't say it, then you have to, if he doesn't say it and the captions are wrong, I'm not saying this is UK, then you have to say, what did he say then? What did he say?
Right. I couldn't make out. He could have. I had never caught that either. And I know sometimes the captions get things wrong.
Sometimes they do, but they're
and
usually,
it doesn't-
pretty good. They're usually pretty good.
They are, but I feel like in this scenario, bum doesn't make sense. And so
Again,
that's why
then you or others will have to tell us what he does say.
But I don't know. I
disagree.
couldn't make it out.
You don't have to say what he does say.
What? You can't just
No.
say he doesn't say it and then he doesn't
Sure.
say anything.
I could say definitively he did not say snorkel in that sentence, even if I don't know what he said.
Then we can argue, yes, the floating teacup going around the planet. If you're making that claim, there's a floating teacup spinning around the world. You have to provide evidence. That's all I'm saying. You're making the claim he didn't say it. The captions say that he says it. I don't think he said it. So you have to tell me then what. Give me two options of what he did.
No,
say
I'm
it.
not definitively saying. I'm just saying I'm not sure if that's really what he says, but I can't make out what he says. It is highly likely that it is what he says. It just seems odd.
I'll make the claim that I did not hear bum.
Okay.
And I'm not saying what it is. I'm just saying I heard it that like I'm influenced by reading the caption.
Yeah,
Like, if
this
you
last
read
time I
something-
had to not you just look at his lips.
There's some stuff on YouTube, for example, where you could hear like you could hear a crowd chanting something, and then they give you a bunch of things.
Yes,
to
I
read.
know. Yes, the auditory, sensory, visual. We know. I understand what you're saying. I get it. I'm just saying too that. How should I say this? That when dialogue is sometimes hard to hear, and we do get the captions to clarify what's been said in films or TV, it happens all the time. Like, oh, that's what they said there. Especially for films I've seen 100 times. That's all I'm saying. Like the captions, if they're wrong, and bum is used in the film, it's not like he said, "I feel like a giraffe." I feel like a loser. He said, I feel like a bum. And he says bum all the time, bum, because he feels like he's quitting. He feels like a quitter.
Okay.
He feels like he's not worth anything anymore.
Okay.
By retiring, he feels like a bum. He's leaving out on top. But again,
I'll
that's
take
my
that.
interpretation. If it is bum. Now, if it's not bum, he's just mumbling, like he's saying, I feel like, I don't know. Like if he just fades away with his own thoughts, that's fair too. I'm saying if it is not bum, then I would like to have some theories as to what it is and why. That's all. But bum makes sense because he feels like a quitter. He feels like he's letting the people down, that they're all here to celebrate him, and now he's retiring them all at the same time. So he feels like a loser a little bit. He feels bad that he's dropping this on them.
I think maybe it's time that I should step down, maybe, and retire.
Here we go.
So I look at the captions captured. No, you can't do that, Rocky. Someone yells out. Yeah, again, that's a legit reaction. People, no one likes. I'm a big hockey guy, so again, I'll speak to this. One of my favorite players from a team retires, it's always hard to say goodbye, even when you recognize that they obviously can't do this forever. Nobody likes to hear that. Oh, it's over. This era is over. And so Rocky's just saying, it's my era. Time defeats everyone. It's time for me to step down.
Well, as Sly fans, if he announced I'm quitting acting, I would be like, no. no.
I'd be like, bullshit.
Yeah.
You'll be back. You'll be back. Yeah, it is a weird kind of downer, right? Like you have this moment where they're unveiling the statue, and like I was saying before, the Philadelphia has really been lifted up by Rocky, and now he's just like, see ya. And it's funny too because he's very wishy-washy the way he says it. I was thinking maybe it's time
because
there.
he doesn't want to. Because Adrian wants Mickey want. Yeah, they want. It's 2 against 1.
Yeah,
he's been convinced. He's been twisted into this.
Well, and I wasn't going to say anything, but he says I wasn't going to say anything. And then something like he got caught in the emotions. It does seem like for it to just be impromptu, an impromptu retirement announcement, like that's surprising as well.
Yeah. And it's not a very good speech. This is a horror. Thanks for the statue that took thousands of hours to build. I'm retiring. Bye.
I like that part of it. I like that it's a shitty speech because that's what you would expect Rocky to give. That's not who he is. He's not the kind of guy that's going to give an eloquent speech. It's not.
They should have written something down.
It's not the Rocky we do. Yes. In reality, that's exactly what would happen. You'd have a speech writer or somebody write something down, and he'd basically read it out. Where you obviously know it's not him. But if he's going to give a speech straight from the heart, then that's what we would expect him to give, and I appreciate that.
Next time they say, Rocky, thank the crowd a little bit more and talk about the journey of being a boxer before you and I quit.
I would have liked to hear like maybe him talk about we started like this, and
I like to thank Mickey who helped me. Yeah, my wife who supported me through this journey, but it's kind of funny.
Yeah, it wasn't planned. He wasn't planning.
Right. I guess he just got thrown up there and I'm retiring. Yeah. It almost seemed that they're using this venue because they would have this conversation in the car right over. Now, remember, Rocky, no matter what they give you or what it looks like, remember to mention you're retiring as soon as you can. Just get it out. And then you can continue with your speech before you forget. So maybe he had more written down, but then this happens.
Get out while you can. Don't get a sucker no statue. Give him guts.
There you go. There's a great line right there. Don't give this sucker a statue. Give him guts. And Rocky, poor guy. What I love about the scene too, it's hard to, of course, see when you're listening to the episode, is Sly's acting is really good actually because he has a look on his face of, why is this guy like? Well, I don't understand. Like I've 10 titles because in his mind, I've defeated this title or defended this title 10 times and I've won and I've fought some great adversaries in his mind. Why is this guy yelling at me like I'm some useless fighter?
And is this the first time? Because Mickey's aware of Clubber's existence. Maybe Rocky is aware of his existence because he's a contender. He's like the number one contender. But it seems like this guy's just coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
To Rocky.
I wonder if Rocky knows who he is. Like Mickey obviously follows him. Yeah, Mickey knows exactly who he is. But I wonder if Rocky's like, who's this guy?
I would believe exactly that, Kyle, that Rocky doesn't know and Mickey does.
That's where my head was originally at. But realistically, if this guy is the number one contender and Rocky's a fan of the sport, he'd know who he was. He'd probably have watched his fights.
We say that we just finished saying this guy can't give a proper speech. I don't know what he's following. I don't know. Maybe he did.
No,
maybe
the speech thing is because he wasn't planning on giving the speech. Remember, he says, I wasn't going to do. I know. Right? For the movie's purposes, it is supposed to be that this is the first time he's encountering Mr. T.
That's right. It doesn't mean we're talking about timelines.
Yeah,
and you're right. So again, this doesn't make sense. We got a Rocky theme music being played. And in this movie, in this world, Rocky is wholly unaware for whatever reason that this is the number one contender. Yeah. But Mickey is very aware because he's the one that monitors all the opponents for Rocky. So that is kind of dry, but Rocky's, as he is upset by what's being said, he's confused about why this guy is attacking him. I think,
I told you I wasn't going away. You got your shot. Now give me mine.
Why don't you get the hell out of there?
Shut up, old man. I ain't going nowhere.
Oh my God, the way he speaks.
I love it, man. I love this guy. He's like right out of the projects in Chicago. He ain't taking note from anybody.
He's so animated in his face.
I love how the cops there are not gonna put this guy. Like they're just standing there and be like, just let him. Maybe this is like this fire will burn itself out, and then I don't have to risk doing anything.
Just like in the charity fight. Those security officers were not about to do anything either.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
I feel
right.
like cops now would just tase him and take him away immediately.
And why don't you tell all these nice folks why you've been ducking me? Politics, man. This country wants to keep me down.
Okay.
Can I say something before we get into it?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Have you guys seen how autocorrect always like will change the F word to duck, like ducking?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
have you seen the memes where it's nobody ever means ducking?
Yeah,
Here's the
exactly.
scenario where they do mean ducking. I found it.
Yes, that's
Oh,
right.
okay. Okay.
He's with me, man.
Yeah.
Hey, no, it's just ducking.
It's actually supposed to be ducking in this case.
Man,
So, go ahead.
yeah, politics, man. Which is like also outdated phrase that you used to hear more often that you don't really hear people say that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I hear it at my work, so I hear it all the time.
Like that though, like politics, man.
Are you taking a nap, my friend? You tired? You can lie on the bed behind. It's fine. Don't worry about it. You just lie on the bed. Like, he's a little worried because he's about my friend who's at the whole. Don't sleep on the floor. Go lie on the bed. Nathan. He doesn't want to be on camera and lie behind us on the bed. You're blocked by me. Literally, we might see a leg.
Are you guys sharing a bed in this?
No,
hotel?
we have 2 beds, but I have a thing where I don't like to, like my bed's over there to the left of me, and I don't want him lying in my bed because I don't like to share my man stink with other man stinks. So
Yeah,
his bed's behind mine. He's lying on the floor. Come on, man, you're stressing me out. All right, he's gonna fall asleep. Okay, we don't have much longer. Okay,
like people talk about politics, like office politics, workplace politics, but I like to specifically like politics, man. Like I feel like that said in that way, was more common back then.
Sure. Here's the thing with this. This is what I don't understand about this because he's talking like mind to understand what is he saying here. He's saying, why have you been ducking me? I haven't had my chance to fight you, but then he segues into the reason why I've been not able to fight you for the championship because of politics. And then he says, this country wants to keep me down. He's the number one contender. There have been black champions before him. What is he referring to?
Okay, this is my theory on it. Yes, there for sure has been black champions. You could argue that the boxing establishment, this is from his perspective, I don't necessarily believe this myself, likes that there's a white guy like Rocky, someone who's charismatic, someone who is well liked by people in the championship, and they want to keep it that way. I don't think that's actually the reason why Kleber's not getting a shot. Like we know the reason. It's because of Mickey.
Right.
Mickey,
we know that, but does Mr. T? Sorry, does Kleber really believe?
I do think he probably feels he feels like it's owed. Like he's doing the things technically to get to the championship fight. But he's no Apollo. He is not a polished. He's just way too rough and doesn't have the right. I don't know. Yeah.
So is it a skin color thing or is it a station of life thing?
I don't think it's a skin color. He might feel that, but I'm just suggesting that Mr. T is a very different type of person. He's mean. He's gruff. He's not nice and a people's person like Apollo was. So they're both black, but Apollo was more polished and a man of the people, and Kleber's not. Okay. And so people don't want that as their champion.
Yeah, Louise has a good comment here, similar to what Katie said, and what I was thinking is like Kleber does come off as the angry black man, which is a caricature. And Apollo, you could make an argument, is a bit of a whitewashed. Like he,
what do they call that again?
They call Mr. T calls him an Uncle Tom, doesn't he?
That's right.
Does he? I don't remember that, but I'm not saying it didn't happen.
He calls him boy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He hates Apollo for sure. Like he probably sees Apollo as more of an Uncle Tom type.
I don't think he says the word, but that's the treatment. You're right. So that's the divisiveness amongst their culture is that Mr. T's from the streets, and whereas Apollo is the refined and
he's Mr. T's the ghetto black guy, where Apollo Creed is basically a black guy that talks and acts what you would think a white person would be like.
He's a Huxtable. He's Dr. Huxtable.
Yeah. I could see people not wanting Clubber Lang to be champion because he's an asshole.
Yeah.
But I actually think he's right more than he's wrong in the sense that he does deserve a title shot. He's earned that.
Agreed.
He's earned his way to the top. He's now the number one contender. And someone could be like, well, you know what? If Rocky retires, then you'll get a shot at the championship. You'll fight someone else, just like Tommy Gunn did.
Yeah.
Later on, but then you're a paper champion and you're called into question. It'll always be asked, could he have beaten Rocky Balboa? So I see his point, and they have to make him look like a dick here, or else the audience is going to sympathize with him.
Agreed.
And this is the first opponent of the franchise where it's strictly now it's the enemy. It's the bad guy. It's the first bad guy that Rock has really had to face. Yeah.
Keep everybody weak. They don't want a man like me to have the title because I'm not a puppet like that fool up there.
He says the puppet like a fool up there. He might know something's going on. He might know something's been the puppet he's being controlled. It's a bit of a stage play that Rocky's a paper champion. He's been referred to that. So he's not really a real champion. He's there because he's the toughest fighter.
Well, Clubber knows that.
That's what I mean. So he's aware. He's a little bit aware of which is weird again. The Clubbers seems to be aware of Rocky's maybe handpicked fights or his title defense, but Rocky, who's in the same business, is unaware of it.
He's in his own head. A lot of times somebody outside of the situation sees it more than you. If you're in it, it's hard to see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Now Rocky's like, yeah, you got a big mouth. That's he's taking it back here. He's not very good with quips. We know that about Rocky. He's not quick.
He's too nice to be like a name caller too.
He's not being very polite, is he, Adrian? Oh wait, that was the director in part 2. Sorry.
You got anything derogatory to say?
Yeah, this guy's got a big mouth.
Oh, you got a big mouth, you know?
Why don't you come out and close it, bad boy? Come on.
Clubber's ready to fight. Why don't you come down and close my mouth then? Imagine if they allowed these two to fight. How far do you think they would have gone? Okay, let's go down. Let's fight.
Okay, I want to point something out. This is going to be a theme of what I'm going to be commenting later on.
Okay.
Clubber Lang is currently in a right-handed boxing stance. That's all I'm going to say right now.
Okay. Good call. Good call.
Maybe he doesn't want to trick. Maybe he's trying to trick Rocky, thinking, "See, I can't." Right
no tricks.
Yeah, imagine getting punched with those rings on too.
Oh yeah. Oof. Yikes. No.
Yeah, no. Rocky's not going to win in a street fight against someone like Clubber Lang.
No.
Oh.
I also think he thought Rocky was a puppet because Rocky, he probably respected. I mean, this is my theory. When Rocky won the championship years ago, I'm guessing Clubber Lang respected him at the time because Rocky was also from the streets and Rocky was a tough fighter. And then he saw Rocky's journey and saw Rocky doing like the Muppet Show in American Express commercials and dressing like this and doing these charity matches and stuff. And I'm guessing he lost respect for him over time. I can't prove that because it doesn't have that anywhere in the film. But he's seen as a puppet because he's less of a fighter and more of a celebrity persona.
The whole idea of when you get famous, you're a sellout now. A little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Now, Luis did ask a question. He goes, it looks like he's using the left as his power hand.
Oh, did I set that up? I might have made a mistake there.
At first, that's what I thought as well, Kyle, but he was like, we just didn't see his right hand.
Okay, could we rewind? Because I want to keep track of this. I think I screwed up.
Man,
Why don't you get the hell out of there?
shut up, old man. I ain't going nowhere. And why don't you tell all these nice folks why you've been ducking me? Politics, man. This country wants to keep me down. Keep everybody weak. They don't want a man like me to have the title because I'm not a puppet like that fool up there.
You know, you got a big mouth, you know?
Why don't you come out and close it, bad boy? Come on.
Yeah, he's right.
No, he's like this.
Okay, can we
with
pause?
his left hand.
It's hard to go. It is hard to go back. Sorry,
but that is his because if you were a right hand fighter, you'd have your left hand up in front with your power hand behind, and that's what he does do.
Okay, I have to see it paused. Okay,
I'll try to pause it.
No, his left shoulder is back.
Oh,
yeah, his left shoulder's cocked back. Yeah, he is in the southpaw position. So good call, Louise. That's still a theme I want to point out, though, because I have to double check this. His stance switches in the movie.
Fair enough. So at the very least, after all that, it's not consistent in the film.
Yeah.
If it's not here, it might be an issue somewhere else. Luis might have the crack wise, and he comes off as he's a little immature in his terrible jokes. But
He's a smart guy.
He's a smart guy. He no dummy, but he knows about these
He
things.
does.
Now, boy, come on. Come on.
He's tired. This guy's crazy. Don't listen to him.
The little man don't want to come to me. Then I'll come to you people and lay out the truth. I am rank number one. One.
Okay, so he points out Mickey doesn't come to me. No, but would it be his job to go to the number one? That's what Clubber's saying. He goes, the little man won't come to me. Is he referring to Mickey as the manager or Rocky as the little man? And then he says,
one.
I'm ranked number one, either one. But is it the job of the champion to chase, hey, who's number one and wants to fight me? It wouldn't really be their job, would it?
We don't know if his camp has reached out to Rocky's camp to try and say if he even has a camp. He does have people. He
does have people in his corner. He says that, but we see in the final fight.
Well, we see he has a corner man who does corner man stuff, but we don't know if that guy's his manager or whatever.
He
Yeah,
says,
he
I
has a
train alone,
manager.
I fight alone.
Right.
At this point, the second fight he has people, but the first fight he doesn't have people.
Does he ever? He has so many people on that second.
Yeah.
I can't wait to count it.
But he's a loner. But so I agree with you, Ryan. It should
Why
be
is it their
Glover's
job?
to
Yeah,
reach out and
right.
request a chance at the title.
He did mention that you've been ducking me. So to be fair, he did say you've been ducking me. So maybe there has been some reach out and he's
Possible.
been ducked. Yeah, there you go.
That means I'm the best. But this bum is taking the easy matches, fighting other bums.
Okay, a lot of bump count. I forgot how much bumps are in this film. We should have done a bump count. And I'm mad that we didn't do a bump count for this film.
It's
This is
still
like
probably like about
12. or
Yeah.
something. I know. But we got 3 bums. Even if
Yeah.
you want to count the one we're not sure about, this bum,
Yep.
that bum. But he goes, but this bum is taking the easy match. So again, he knows Clubber's aware that he's fighting other bums, and Rocky is
Oh, he
unaware.
Yeah.
I'm telling you and everybody here, I'll fight him anywhere, anytime, for nothing.
So
For
it's not about the
nothing.
money.
I love it.
Not about
no,
Yeah.
I
I
don't.
love it.
That's just stupid.
okay. So Kyle loves it, but Katie, before Kyle, why do you love it? And I want to hear Katie why you don't go.
Okay, I love it because it shows that for him, it's like his persona is that I'm a fighter and I want to be the champion. And unlike Rocky, which has all these other considerations of money and prestige and all this other stuff, he says, no, I want none of that. I just want to be the champion. That's it. No, I like money. I would also like to get paid for fighting. But that shows, in this case, it shows, look, like you have no excuse not to fight me. It doesn't have to be a money thing. Because a lot of, like, especially recently, actually, a lot of heavyweight matches that people want to see end up not happening. And it's over like contract disputes
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. Where he's saying, look, I'm giving you no excuse to duck me. I'll fight you for free. I'll fight you wherever you want to fight me. Like, it does not matter when, where, under what circumstances.
Mhm.
I will fight you. So if you're not going to fight me, that's 100% on you.
Okay. Katie?
That is legit. I hear that and I agree with you. I'm just saying
Mhm.
it's just foolish. This is also a business. You could get significantly hurt in the same way that it drives me insane that Rocky takes no money for fighting Drago.
Oh,
I'm
there you
like,
go. Fair.
that's-
You're being fair. You're being fair to both points. There you
Because
go.
if he had taken money, we wouldn't have gone
Yeah.
broke. We would still have that money coming in. Anyway,
Maybe
great
the
point.
Russians didn't want to pay. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I suspect Clubber was paid for both fights.
Yes, it was for sure.
He's just saying that. He's saying right now
Mm-hmm.
to him.
But you people ain't never gonna see that happen because he's gonna retire. You see, he don't fight no real man. He fight them setups.
What? You're a disgrace to this sport.
Shut up, old man. You and that chump don't know where to come from. Bad boy, your family doing real nice, ain't it? You call yourself a fighter? Prove it now. Give me that same chance. The way he been ducking is the disgrace. If he ain't no coward, why don't he fight me then?
I can't listen anymore. They say anytime.
I don't care.
Okay, hard truce. Even Rocky's like, okay, well, what the Rocky's? I like this Rocky and or Sly's acting, but Rocky's character here is acting real legit because he is truly tricked. He honestly has no idea what. He's like, yeah, I'll fight this guy anyway. Why are we listening to this guy? Yeah, I'll fight him. I have no reason to believe I can't beat him. What's going on? I don't want this guy to crap on my legacy, especially during my ceremony. Let's do something about this. And that plays into, of course, what we're going to see here, that when Mickey basically says, I don't care what you're ranked. Like, Rocky, what are you talking? Why are we afraid of this guy, Mickey? You're being oddly trying to sweep this under the carpet in front of me. Rocky's catching it now. He's getting the drift of it.
Yep, good call.
What's your rank? You don't get no shot, and I mean that.
I'm glad you people are seeing it.
What are you doing? I want to fight this guy.
Well, you got
I
him.
worked hard.
You'll fight him without me.
Please don't judge me.
What are you saying?
It's finished. Yes, I'm finished. I don't want no more. I don't want no more.
Okay. Now, this is really odd because Rocky is having an honest reaction here. That's legit. This guy's calling me out, Mickey, and I'm the fighter, and I want to fight this guy. Like, I was never really I was never really on board about retiring anyways. You guys kind of convinced me. I'm feeling great. 10 title defenses. I'm the champion. I've got some more in me. I don't really want to retire. This guy's calling me out in front of all my fans in the world. I can't let this be. I'm a fighter. This is like very few fighters would be like, there. I am retiring. It's a natural reaction. Like, I want to fight this guy. This guy's call me a chump and call me a bum. This is like insult. But then Mickey's reaction, he's angry. Why? Like, the way he's acting towards Rocky there, I've never really appreciated or understood why is he angry at himself for lying to Rocky, that it's come to this point? Because I don't want no more of this. It's finished. You're going to do it without me. You want to fight him? Go ahead, but you're going to do it alone. Mickey, why are you dumping this on me? It's an odd, what? Why are you spinning on me for?
I can see it in that.
Really?
First,
do you really see why he would act this way? Okay, explain why he would act this way.
There's a couple elements. First, some people are really prone to anger, and anger is a secondary emotion. There's always another emotion behind anger, and it's usually frustration. Mickey's frustrated at this situation. I don't think Mickey particularly likes doing all this setup stuff. And Mickey is really pissed off that Rocky committed to retiring and now is just, okay, I'll fight this guy. And he's also frustrated because he doesn't want to see Rocky get hurt and get humiliated by Clubber. And so he's just like, look, if you're going to do this, I don't want to be a part of it. But he's frustrated.
You're right about
he's frustrated because I lost the train of thought now.
Sorry. I agree with you that he's frustrated. No, I'm not saying he shouldn't be frustrated, but he sounds angry at Rocky, meaning they never fully told Rocky what's going on. So his anger towards Rocky should be towards himself, meaning he's lied to Rocky about, or not been completely honest about the types of fighters that Rocky's fighting. The honest discussion never took place, or that blow up shouldn't have happened. They should have told Rocky, look, the reason why you're retiring is the fighters we got guys coming up that are going to tear you apart, i.e. Clubber Lang. There's guys that I don't think you can take, and I don't feel comfortable training you anymore. I'm getting older. Whatever the discussion is, because Rocky is blindsided by he's blindsided by the anger because Mickey and Adrian haven't been up front with him.
I can see why Rocky doesn't understand the anger for sure. But as someone who's watching it, like, Mickey's an old school fighter, an old school manager. He is a curmudgeon. We see him being pissed off and dickish to people constantly. This is well within Mickey's personality, that if he's frustrated by something, if he's frustrated, we're almost there. Rocky almost retired, and all this is now over, and all of a sudden it just came crashing down. His emotions are heightened by the fact that Clubber was just talking to him and telling him to shut up. Like, he's probably in an angry, pissed off mood. And normally he would have that sit down with Rocky, like he will in the next scene where he talks to him nicely. But
he doesn't have the emotional intelligence.
No, I recognize. No,
I know.
I'm more about, he seems like he's angry at Rocky. That's what. All the things he felt, I agree, Kyle, that he feels those ways. That Rocky's changed his mind, but Rocky changed his mind because he wasn't told the whole truth. He wasn't given the whole picture. So in his mind's eye, he's like, what are we doing here? Why are we fighting? Why are we running away from this guy? So he's blindsided by Mickey's anger that seems to be directed at Rocky. Like, other than changing his mind about retirement, sure. That was the only crime Rocky committed here.
Well, I don't think it's justified that he's angry at Rocky, but anger's not rational. in that sense.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like you can be irrationally angry, and
It never sat well. The scene just never sits well with me. I don't know why. I don't know.
No,
why.
you're right. And because my emotion watching it was feeling sorry for, like, feeling empathy for Rocky. Oh, poor Rocky. Because he does come out of nowhere. P.S. Good word, curmudgeon, Kyle. Like,
That is a good word.
and it's true. Yeah. He just is just a grumpy old man.
Yeah, I know. But then he seems so oddly. We won't get that to
Compassionate
today, but
later. He doesn't have
it,
a chance. Like, they're in the middle. He can't have that heart to heart in this setting.
no, not at this moment. He could have said, "We'll talk about this." Yeah, I know.
Yeah. No, you're right, though.
It just seems like a weirdly odd. It's a thing of beauty in it. What can I do without me? It's like a weird. This emotional. He's worse than Paulie with his emotions.
Yeah, they're both bipolar.
Hey, woman. Hey, woman. Listen here. Since your old man ain't got no heart, maybe you'd like to see a real man. I bet you stay up late every night dreaming you had a real man, don't you?
No,
Okay.
she doesn't. She
Yeah, I
does
was gonna
not.
say she's doing okay with Rocky's
Yeah.
body and everything right now, but yeah,
maybe
I
don't
Rocky
even-
has like a really small penis or something.
yeah,
Maybe he's really
And I
good
will
with
say
it. He might be very good with it. You know what I mean?
right. No, yeah. The idea here is to let to believe a little bit of the stereotypes. Maybe I don't know. Maybe, however, we know Rocky does get mad very quickly here, but I don't even think he would have gotten this far. The hey woman,
Agreed.
like Rocky would have already. Whoa, you are like I don't. Clever got a lot out before
did.
Rocky's character actually gets angry. In real life, most men probably wouldn't have let a lot pass after calling out my woman. Hey, and especially bring yourself over to my place. Yeah, like
It's in front of a
Anyway,
crowd, though. But I
maybe-
hear you. Also,
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but this is one of my favorite scenes of.
Oh,
this
you love
movie.
seeing the because you love seeing the Sly sticking up for his woman, right?
I love the clip of Clubber's voice. Hey, woman. Hey, woman.
Okay.
I find it hilarious. It's just, I don't know. It's so animated.
Yeah, he also
Anyone
says
else?
that in an interesting way. His voice changes a little bit when he says it. It almost cracks a little bit, and it sounds cool. I can see why you like it.
Yeah, and the bit about come over to my apartment tonight and I'll show you a real man. Even as a kid, I'm like, Rocky's a real man.
Also, there's a weird. He'd say hotel room because he's not from Philly.
True. Yeah, you want to take a little
Like,
flight
I don't know
to
where he's
kinda
from.
bad
Apparently he's
Chicago.
Apparently he's able to be everywhere. Apparently,
Yeah.
this guy.
I don't
He's
know
got
where
more
he's
money than-
from, but it's not Philly. There's no way he moved to Philly.
All right, I'll let it play out. So let me just go back a little bit.
Hey, woman. Hey, woman. Listen here. Since your old man ain't got no heart, maybe you'd like to see a real man. I bet you stay up late every night dreaming you had a real man, don't you? I tell you what, bring your pretty little self over to my apartment tonight, and I'll show you a real man. You want it? You get it!
Okay. You want it, you got it, says Rocky. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's great. We love seeing that, of course. We love seeing it's the only time in the film franchise where we see that type of old school, let's be honest, that old school, the man coming in to protect his woman type behavior. It's the
You
only time.
have to do that as a husband or partner or
Yeah.
something. If some guy says that to your wife or girlfriend, there's
Yeah,
no
win or
way
lose,
you
I got to
walk
do
away from
something.
that.
Yeah, win or lose, I got to say something. Like,
Yeah.
all right,
Like,
this guy.
you have to get in that person's
face.
face and let them know that that cannot happen.
Yeah. All right. That was a fun episode. Boy, this has been a fun season, really. Again, this movie just provides so much.
It
I can't
does.
even handle it. Oh, anyway.
And there's so much in store ahead.
I know we don't need to start talking about it because we'll start talking about it. But every scene seems to have. I don't know. It's crazy. Okay. Yeah. Anything else, guys, before we close? You can think of? Okay. We'd like to thank everyone that joined us live. Again, if you want to watch the show live, join our many socials. The show notes are in every episode that show you the links of how you can join us. So when I announce on Twitter or on our Facebook that we're going live and our Discord, that's how you can join us live and be part of the discussion, which really helps out the discussion. Send us an email, all that good stuff. If you join the Patreon at this point, what the Patreon does give you is early releases. These live streams that I'm talking about, you can watch the unedited stuff. You can hear me talk to my friend if you want. That kind of stuff happens. That won't be on the podcast release audio versions. With that, though, Kyle, however, this episode is over.
I did not hear no bells, sir.
All right. Thanks, guys, for watching. You guys that were live, we appreciate it. We'll see you guys soon.
I just want to say one